Gotta get myself going here.
Bring it.
Bring it on. I'm anxious. Hello. How is everybody? Hello. It's been a month. Hi.
A legitimate month. You just brought it up that it's been like our last show was 420.
420. It's insane. Wow. That's a month away. Nothing has happened in a whole month.
No, I mean, abortion is totally safe, and Democrats are still cruising to win the midterms, and
World War III on the horizon. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat. Thanks, Mary. Welcome. We have been gone for a while. Pat, how are you, my friend?
Fantastic. I just want to say I'm a failure as a socialist because I took a vacation.
That is not everybody should have a vacation.
I know this, but so I just want to explain. I went on the bougiest of bougie vacations first off, which I will wholly admit to.
Right.
And I don't want to be a downer, but the reason I went on this vacation was my friend's bucket list. She's dying of cancer, and this exact cruise we went on, she's been dreaming about for 20 years.
Aww.
And she tucked the money away, and it was a Mediterranean cruise. And it was the bougiest thing, the rich shirt on while I was walking around or something.
Yeah.
It was rich ass old people. Like, to be on this cruise, you had to have like old money, that kind of cruise. So I apologize for sharing pictures of it, but it was wonderful. Had a great time.
Well, it was fun for me to live it vicariously through your pictures, all those pictures of food and drink. And we should all be, that's the goal, is that everybody should have some joy and travel and interaction.
I thought you were going to say have a butler, because we had a butler.
I was not going to offer that information. I was going to keep that a secret, a shameful secret between the two of us. But you offered it up. No, that's super fun, and that's fun. And I missed you. And we have a lot to do. Yeah.
Keep it brief, but how was your month?
My month was good. I mean, it's as sad as we have all been feeling for such a long time. I went for my yearly checkup the other day, and they asked if I was depressed, and I was like, really? Like, yeah. I mean, who's not depressed? What are you talking about? And she's like, but if you tell me you're depressed, there's like 12 pages of questions I have to ask you. I was like, well, I mean, like, so she didn't even want to hear it.
That could be a pre-existing condition. Like, oh, you're depressed? Oh, well, then you're not going to get the treatment.
I mean, if you're not depressed right now, I got news for you. There's something severely lacking in.
It's a bit of an intelligence test, really.
Truly. And I'm super intelligent. If being depressed makes me intelligent, I am. Woo.
So how did you answer? Did you answer?
So honestly, I was like, well, I don't want to like hang out here any longer with my mask on and where people might be infected. I'm not depressed, but I do, like, I drink every night. I have edibles. I'm super sad. And she was like, great, go get a mammogram, go get a colonoscopy. Yay, fun. And we'll see you in a year. Go with God. Meditate.
Literal thoughts and prayers from your doctor. That's what it's coming to.
Yeah.
Good luck
your
with
edibles.
That.
Yeah.
Good.
Truly, it was like see you in a year, and kicked me out the door. She could barely look up from her iPad. She was like 22. I mean, whatever. I could be everybody's mother or grandmother at this point, which is also depressing, but like different from why I'm mostly depressed. But that's, but yeah, no, mostly everything's good. I'm happy to be back. So we have a lot to talk about, of course, but also have some margaritas, go to a kickboxing class. I will do the first part for sure.
Tonight.
Tonight. We have to be out of here at 6:00 sharp, because then we're headed over to be part of our friends, Joe Firestone and Lisa Theobald, on their in-depth podcast, talking about the Supreme Court and Roe v. Wade and all sorts of good stuff. So we'll keep the party going, but that's why we have a hard out today at 6.
Hard out. And I'm glad you reminded me of the topic because I've done no preparation. So it should be fun. And I'll be properly loaded by then. So
that's right.
Excellent show to watch. I suggest you watch. It's the after party I've always wanted for this show, where
I know
too much truth.
Whether they want it or not, we're coming in liquored up. All right. Well, what do we do? Do we just like get to it? Let's spin that wheel, right?
I think we do the wheel, and I forget, but don't we have a wheel, like a video or something?
Look at, you're out of practice. We do.
Oh, bring the wheel.
There you go.
I want that intro, like, for everything I do in life, like a boxer,
wouldn't that be fun? It's like my theme song, my walk-up song.
Yeah, when I'm walking to the buffet on the cruise, I want that playing for people.
I like it. All right, what do we got today? We got Joe versus Roe versus Wade. Saki bon voyage, baby.
Saki's gone.
So sad to see her go. Something squad. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's something about the squad.
5 blanks. Bombs. What fits in that 5 blank?
What
I don't know.
Fits there? I'm loath to say it, and yet they're forcing my hand. COVID's still over. Like, nobody talks about it anymore. And the Great Replacement. So what do you say? We spin that wheel?
Let's spin it. I need a shot.
Yeah, baby.
Is that new?
Wow.
That's new.
I didn't even know that was so we had to redo the wheel, and I thought we put on the same stuff, but there we go. Sal, what's up, Sal?
Sal and Mary, I see. Yes, we will post on Twitter.
For the show.
I did post it earlier, and I will post it again. But you might have to remember and remind me, because I'm already 2 drinks in, and we haven't even started doing. Oh wait, we didn't land on the shots. What did we land on?
I've already forgotten. Sake bomb.
Sake bomb, your favorite.
She came in like a sake bomb. Yeah.
I'll just leave it there. But I love it.
Folks, it's a sad day for the White House correspondents, because we are losing our favorite truth teller, but welcoming another one. So should we just put that on there?
Yeah. Let's what do we got?
Get ready to tear up.
So before I get to the briefing, I just want to start by I'm gonna cry. Okay. I want to talk about my friend Karine. You got to come up here. So I just want to take the opportunity to celebrate and congratulate my friend, my colleague, my partner in truth, Karine Jean-Pierre, the next White House press secretary. Now, many people in this room have known her for some time. But for anyone who does not know her, I want to provide a little bit of a primer for you, so settle in. First, as you all know, she will be the first Black woman, the first out LGBTQ+ person to serve in this role, which is amazing because representation matters, and she is going to, she will give a voice to so many, allow and show so many what is truly possible when you work hard and dream big, and that matters. And we should not, we should celebrate that.
Man, there's so many levels to that. It's hilarious. First of all, why is she crying? I have no idea. Second, partner in truth. Third, representation matters, model minority, hard work. It's got all the lib beats right there.
Yeah, and that stuff absolutely matters, but I mean, make no mistake, she was chosen for this as the biggest shield you could possibly get for criticism, because that's the Democratic Party way. I mean, Black woman, LGBTQ+. I mean, that checks all the boxes for, like, did you really just ask me that question?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You know, and they'll use it. I mean, they used it with Jen. And I shouldn't even say, it's sexist of me to call her Jen.
Psaki.
Psaki. I should have said.
The idea that anybody could say with a straight face, my partner in truth. Like, what the? Do you know what that job description is? You are the public relations person to lie for the White House. How do you even pretend it's anything but that?
And we should have had the picture of her and Ducey hugging it out. I mean,
oh my God.
Literally her and Jeff Ducey, that's her partner for truth. I mean, they just.
Yeah. There are two sides to the same coin. He makes her look good, makes him look good, and they just go party together in the after the press briefing.
It's all theater is the whole point of everything at this point. I mean, it's so hard to even talk about this stuff because we've had this conversation for years and years and years about how the Democratic Party is just a glossed over version of the Republican Party, and we're all just playing this game. But you know, they really do have drinks after work and hug it out and joke about their politics. They don't care.
Absolutely. They do not care because they're all playing for the same team, honestly.
She came in like a sake.
Anything else?
You had a thought.
I know it's okay. I just can't remember if we had anything else like about her.
Jen Psaki also had a nice moment on baby formula. We have that.
Since you said it was a public health question, which agency should that question be directed to? Just the very practical, immediate question of if you can't find formula and you need it for your baby to eat, what should they be doing?
We would certainly encourage any parent who has concerns about their child's health or well-being to call their doctor or pediatrician.
And vote in November.
Yeah. And if you're hungry, you should sell some stocks. You know.
Yeah. No more avocado toast and all that. Yeah.
Lighten up on the second and third houses. I mean, so many people don't have doctors. I mean, like
30 million people are uninsured in this country. Whom are they going to talk to?
Imagine if if we were out of baby formula with Trump. What a story that would be front and center every day until we had baby formula. But because it's Biden, it's all this apologia. I mean, is that even a word?
Yeah, but yes, it is. And they've known about it now for quite some time that this was coming, and they've done nothing. There's no the Defense Emergency Act. Like, do we make anything in this country? Production Act. Yeah. Like, what do we make in this country?
Well, we don't make masks. I mean, the first thing Biden should have done, I mean, not to bring COVID up already, but like make masks immediately. Yep. Like that's no brainer. Like make them, distribute them.
Of course.
And we know that KN95 and better is what you need to really protect yourself. Yep. And they're not out there at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
They're not out there.
Cake.
Let
100%.
them eat cake for sure. Should we just go to a couple more things about the formula since we're already here? Because it is horrifying. So we know in 1 month, there will be totally out of formula, which is already in most stores locked up behind plexiglass where you have to get somebody
stolen by the poor.
So it's not stolen by the poor. I mean, that is what you feed your baby with if you are unable to breastfeed. That's all they get. So like the fact that, I mean, that should just be like a public good. I mean, what are babies going to do? What are mothers going to do? It's already stressful enough when you have a newborn.
And I suggest all people needing baby formula that are poor to steal the shit out of it and demand a jury trial and then make your case because you're not going to jail.
That's a great piece of advice, except look what happened just recently.
God damn it.
So
don't
a mother
get in a car chase.
Yeah, steals it. The police come after her for stealing formula. And the baby is killed in the car accident that is a result of being chased by the police because you're stealing supplies for your baby. I mean, I don't know what stage of capitalism this is, but somebody's got to put us all out of our misery.
Yeah. And honestly, if this question was asked to enough Democrats in office, they would have we'd have the audio of the wrong answer saying law and order, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like if we had more cops, we need more money for the police force so they can be trained not to do this would be the Democratic answer.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And because it's happening under Biden, of course, there was the appropriate shit lib response, which this time came from Bette Midler.
Yeah.
Don't blame this administration, new moms. Try breastfeeding. Thankfully,
I'm a dumb
dragged.
misogynist male, and I know that all women cannot breastfeed. So that's ridiculous.
Clearly. I mean, yeah, that's gross. And of course we, and it all comes back to capitalism, right? Because the regulations that I think it's Abbott, is that the name of the company? Here's the other thing. So not only did they flout the regulations and use their stock money to buy back stocks, or their rescue money to buy back stocks, and not fix and clean the equipment so they wouldn't have tainted formula, which has already killed 2 babies. But there is only, I think, 1 or 2 brands that have contracted with the government to be available for women, infant, children, people who are on the WIC program. So you can't even use government subsidies to buy all the different kinds of formula, even if you could find them, because only a couple of them are approved to be, allowable to buy with food stamps or government subsidies. So there's so many levels of disgusting malfeasance in this.
And I just want to say, I mean, since I'm a world traveler now, but when I was over abroad, I travel abroad. I was talking to a lot of people in the countries that we went to, small countries, Montenegro, some of the Baltic states. And you're talking about little teeny economies, and their healthcare system is better than ours. I was asking one of them was a student. He said, and I said, what's it like as a student? What kind of government? He's like, well, school is free, and we get free meals. You could just go eat anywhere and tell them you're a student. And, it's not everywhere. Like if you go to some place sort of upscale, there's like a discount, but it's still like, if you go upscale, it's 50% off, but everybody knows where you can go eat for free as a student. I mean,
we just do not take care of.
We have so much money.
I know. And it's just being hoarded by the same few people. It's really reprehensible. All right. Should we spin? We got so much. We got 40 minutes and so much to say.
So many shots to do.
So many shots.
Yeah, baby.
The sounds have changed.
I know the sounds have changed and the graphics have changed. It's a little unsettling. I'm old. I'm trying to get used to this new layout. I don't even know what there is to say anymore that we haven't said already. Of course, right away, there was the whole lib thing of, Hillary knew, hope that vote for Bernie or Jill Stein really, was worth it. Luckily, I feel like now with the internet, there are like the receipts that are readily available. So, if you, the fact that yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, obviously they put the blame on this all on progressives. Like progressives fucked up and Hillary didn't win. And that's why Roe versus Wade's getting overturned.
Right.
Which on 1,000 levels is wrong.
It's wrong on so many levels, right? Like they could have codified it many different times over the years, which they promised to do. We've got Obama explicitly
ran on it.
That. Let's look at this.
Well, the first thing I do as president is sign the Freedom of Choice Act.
Okay.
First, the Freedom of Choice Act is not my highest legislative priority. I believe that women should have the right to choose, but I think that the most important thing we can do to tamp down some of the anger surrounding this issue is to focus on those areas that we can agree on, and that's where I'm going to focus. Okay. Jeff.
So the most important, the most important thing he can do about this very important issue is to just ignore it, because it's not liked by both sides. That's the whole point. You literally ran on securing it because the other side doesn't support it and is going to one day overturn it.
But by the way, a majority even of Republican voters think that it should be the law of the land. And everybody has different specifications, but the way you deal with that is in a really clean way. It's not people like to say, well, it's nuanced. It's not nuanced. Abortion should be 100% legal, 100% on demand when you need it. Nobody carries a baby into her third trimester and then decides to have an abortion on a whim. That is not why. And if you say, oh, in the case of incest and rape, which courts do you have to go to then prove that you were raped? And how long does that take?
I mean, obviously, I'm extremely pro abortion for whatever reason. But if you want to make the argument that Republicans always try to make about, incest and rape should be, whatever. But like, there's no way to even morally support those arguments.
Right.
I'm not saying this very well, but
listen, they've made everything so difficult. And while every time you chip away at it, you're just like laying the foundation for the right-wing nuts who, and by the way, none of this is really what the Supreme Court's all about anyway. While everybody is focused on this, and by the way, right away, you get all of the fundraising emails and texts from Nancy Pelosi and Clyburn, and then they're down fundraising and stumping for one of the few anti-choice Democrats, Henry Cuellar, right? In Texas. At the same time, they're saying, yeah, there's his vote. He's the one Democratic nay to codifying Roe v. Wade. That's him. And that they're down in Texas stumping for him while they're saying, hey, you better vote and send us money so we can protect it. Protect what? You've got everything right now. You've got the presidency, you've got the House, you've got the Senate. Make it law.
They want it to be a wedge issue forever. I mean, it is the biggest gift that ever came from leaked information for the Democrats was the Supreme Court ruling that's coming, because now they have a shot at winning some of these midterm seats, because this one issue supersedes everything to so many voters. And you're not wrong to think that. I don't blame people that think that, but it allows them to be shittier. Like, the worse the Republican Party is, it always allows Democrats to be shitty, which is why I don't think even Republicans care that like they're exposed as being extremely shitty, because they know, their donors know, if the Republicans are seen as very shitty, the Democrats don't have to be left at all.
Right.
They just have to be less shitty. That's the whole game. Less shitty than the other side.
And also, as much as I'm like full-throatedly 100% pro-abortion, I'm not even gonna say pro-choice or whatever the hell they've tried to make different language once again, because they don't have the policy to actually fight to codify it. But, poor working class women of color have already been taken away mostly from access to abortions in so many states. There are no clinics. There's, very few abortion clinics. They don't have health care anyway, right? So like, if you're going to be a one issue voter and Medicare for all isn't your one issue, but you're like incensed by Roe v. Wade, what you're really saying is there are a bunch of medical procedures that you feel like poor people shouldn't have access to anyway. I don't know. There's something just really disgusting about what galvanizes privileged white women and what doesn't.
That's it. I mean, and they're going to use this one issue to try to hide their inequity in that's not even the word I'm looking for. I've had 2 beers and holy shit.
All right. Is that all we got for Roe v. Wade?
Yeah, let's move on. Who cares? No, I'm just kidding. We have a lot on. We have a ton on Roe v. Wade.
Oh yeah.
Christine Pelosi. I mean,
she blocked me. I had to go through my alt to get that because she blocked me. But yeah. But Ruth, I mean, there's so many people to blame that we are in this situation.
Not a big issue. Abortion is hurting.
It hurts the Democratic Party. This is a majority popular issue. Again, across the spectrum, independents, Democrats, Republicans, all think that Roe v. Wade should be the law of the land. So how is that possibly hurting Democrats? Right?
It's It's just that they want to save it as this issue between the two parties forever because they can't.
One of the few things separating Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah, I mean, guns were sort of one of the issues, but guns are not that. Leftists like guns a lot as well.
Yeah.
I mean, leftists, you know. So
anyway, but normally I see that you know, the Handmaid's Tale, the Margaret Atwood book, the cover, and people say, you know, it's a meme, it's like an anti-Bernie meme, right, where it's like, I just didn't like Hillary, but I saw this one and it made me happy because finally somebody turned that on its head. I know, but I just didn't like how Bernie seemed angry because he would have beaten Trump, and we all know it, in 2016, and it would be we'd be in a different place right now. So anyway, that's where we are. Yeah, but we're not prepared. We're not going to do anything actually to codify Roe versus Wade. We're not going to get rid of the filibuster. We're not going to support Cisneros down in Texas against Cuellar, who she is pro-choice. We're not going to do any of the things that could actually fix this, except we'll fundraise on it and tell you just to get out there and vote.
Because it's all they have in the midterms. This issue, they want to be front and center for voting for Democrats. This is your reason you must vote for Democrats. And they're, you know, I mean,
I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it
works. I don't know if
I mean, I know it's what they're trying to do, but I don't think it's going to work. They've got they are in control right now.
Oh, I mean, it shouldn't work, but the reality is the public at large just sees this as black and white, like they always do. And they fall into this.
Yeah.
They're not CNN and MSNBC. They're not informing their viewers about Biden's history on abortion. They're not telling people about how Nancy should have done this for years and decades. You know, none of that's all they know is our only, you know, Republicans are for abortion and Democrats are, I mean, you know, for abolishing Roe v. Wade. And it's fucked because they're not wrong on this stuff, but it's like, we all know the Democrats don't want to actually do anything about it. They just want to keep it as a branding exercise between the two parties.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. I need a shot. Wow. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I see it.
I believe we're going to hit a shot.
Help is on the horizon.
Yeah, baby.
Got it ready.
Oh, you do? Okay. I like that new, like,
the God music.
Yeah, the God music.
And he said, "Thou shalt have copious alcohol," or
cheers,
something
everybody.
About stepping on the grapes or walking on grapes. I don't know. What did Jesus do? I don't know.
He turned his body to vodka.
I thought it was bourbon.
It was bourbon.
Ooh, that was good. Surprisingly good.
What are you drinking?
Well, first off, for the show, I'm drinking Galaxy on Fire because that seems appropriate.
Everything is fine.
And then some sort of vanilla bourbon that is not bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Jill's got a new picture. Hey, Jill, and a Moscow Mule. Well, I've got the vodka part of it, and I've got diet tonic. All right. Are we going
back
right
to the
into
wheel?
The squad, or are you gonna?
No, let's spin it and have a shot before we get to the squad.
Yeah, baby.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh man, this is gonna be.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
A lot because I had two before.
Might have to fix the music. Oh, I just mean the music. The shot. Is
the God music's kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
Ah. Oh my.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
That's how you do it. That is how you do it.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm drinking everybody's the Cryo IPA. It's very good. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Oh my God. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is my 5th. I think I need to take like a supplement to clean my liver.
Is there a shot supplement, like shot canceling?
No, but like a pill. Is there a pill that could give me a healthy liver?
No, but
Tea?
B12 is good for hangovers and whatnot.
Oh,
I mean,
I just eat a lot of carbs.
Oh, I just saw a call from Dr. Firestone, which is probably not a good sign since we're on the show at 6, but I can't take a call during this show. Come on. Sorry. If you're watching Dr. Firestone, please leave us a comment.
Milk thistle is good for my liver, I'm hoping. Okay, good. And that milk thistle and cranberry juice with vodka?
I think cranberry, yep. I mean, might as well. Cranberry juice is good.
All right, let's spin the wheel.
Oh, there's only 3 shots
baby.
Oh, you took him away. Okay. It's crazy, kind of crazy to be oops, look what we just did. So liquored up when we get to this absolute horror show of the shooting in Buffalo that killed 10 people. And there's so much to say, but I guess should we just start with Tucker and his great replacement theory? Do you want to go do you want to start with that, or what? How do you want to start with this?
I mean,
because
okay, so base point that we all should agree on is that the great replacement theory is garbage. It is an actual strategy pursued by the Republican Party to promote this racist idea that Democrats just want to change the voting electorate to,
by
bring
bringing
more Hispanic
in
people and
easily manipulated immigrants.
Right. And the obvious flaw in this logic is that Democrats aren't doing any of that. They're not expanding immigration. They're not.
Yeah, we're not expanding immigration. We're deporting more people. Why am I saying that? Biden deporting more people than Trump did, not expanding immigration, and losing the Latino vote anyway, because all of his policies suck. But that said, the blame right away went to Tucker Carlson, who has the biggest show on Fox and I think the biggest show on cable news. And he said, no, what are you talking about? I do not espouse great replacement theory. So let's just put this to rest before we get into all the rest of it.
They're trying to change the population of the United States. And they hate it when you say that because it's true, but that's exactly what they're doing. Is anyone pushing back at all? I have less political power because they're importing a brand new electorate. Why should I sit back and take that? How much longer do you think Americans will put up with this? How long before Americans start to take border enforcement into their own hands? We have absolutely the right to know. We should demand to know now. Every time they import a new voter, I become disenfranchised as a current voter. No, they're not allowed to do that. Why are we putting up with this? Most people go along with this absurd standard. They dutifully shut up. They don't think they have a choice. You wonder how much longer they imagine Americans are going to go along with this. It can't go on forever, but you can see why they're trying it. Demographic change is the key to the Democratic Party's political ambitions. Our leaders have no right to encourage foreigners to move to this country in order to change election results. Abrupt change causes social chaos, always. What will the consequences of that change, of that revolution be? In your bones, you know the answer. It's terrifying. And it doesn't have to happen. You cannot overstate the scale of demographic change underway right now in the United States. It's a direct assault on our democracy. They don't even really care about your vote anymore. Their goal is to make you irrelevant. You're just an American citizen, shut up and obey. They know that calling you a racist is the fastest way to make you obey. In other words, you're being replaced and there's nothing you can do about it. So shut up! If you don't obey them, they denounce you as a racist. Why do they do this? They do it because it works. But here's the thing, it can only work if you play along with it, and we don't plan to.
Okay, so clearly he's repulsive and disgusting. And right away, as the Democrats do, they want to get him off the air. They want to denounce him. We got to get rid of the big bad Tucker. And that's clearly not the way to deal with this. But, it's a whole slew of opinion pieces and talking heads coming out saying like what's happened to the Republican Party, and we need a good strong Republican Party that's not what it's become, and it's just started with Trump. And that is
Pelosi, by the way. Pelosi is the biggest advocate for the Republican Party. Every chance she gets, she advocates for how much we need them.
That's
and
right.
Then she's anti-abortion. I mean, she's, thinks abortion is a wedge issue we shouldn't get involved with. Of course, they know they should get involved with it, but
yeah,
they want to save it.
Yeah. So, there's this idea that it is, first of all, only Republicans and only this new Republican Party and only Trump and the people that he, sort of gave rise to. So just to put us back into historic context, this is Lee Atwater in 1981. Let's hear what he had to say.
Here's how I would approach that issue as a statistician or a political scientist, or no, as a psychologist, which I'm not, is how abstract you handle the race thing. In other words, you start out, now y'all aren't quoting me on this. You start out in 1954 by saying nigger, nigger, nigger. By 1968, you can't say nigger, that hurts you, it backfires, so you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights and all that stuff. And you're getting so abstract now, you're talking about cutting taxes and all of these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and the byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites. And subconsciously, maybe that is part of it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if it is getting that abstract and that coded, that we're doing away with the racial problem one way or the other. You follow me? Because obviously sitting around saying we want to cut taxes, we want to cut this, and we want is much more abstract than even the busing thing, and a hell of a lot more abstract than nigger, So any way you look at it, race is coming on the back burner.
Okay, so first of all, that was 1988, and I want to thank one of my favorite accounts, iSquirrel, for posting that a while ago. But so that right away, he's cutting taxes, forced busing, states' rights are all abstract versions of saying the N-word and hurting the Black population. And they knew it then, and they just shifted to more palatable language, but everybody knew what it was code for. And it wasn't just Republicans. Of course, we had, there was the Willie Horton thing, and that was what Bush and Dukakis, I think. Bill Clinton had the Sister Souljah moment, right? Like people have been, I think Hillary Clinton in 2018 said that Europe had to curb their influx of refugees so they didn't have more terrorism. I mean, this idea of great replacement is not new. And unfortunately, it is not just a Republican problem. We have the president of the United States, who was a big states' rights person and anti-busing person. And he was a friend of Strom Thurmond, and he knew exactly what saying those words meant.
Yeah. I mean, clearly Biden, his whole career is very fucking racist, which is, Obama picked him to be sort of his path to the racist in a way, like the path to like the normal voter, the Republican voter. But his whole career has been racist as shit,
Yep.
Do we have him? What do we have on him? Oh, we have
this. Sorry. Yeah. I'm going to let you talk.
Show the video of him being racist as shit about Rodney King, of all people. Like,
this
to
is
choose Rodney King to talk about this at the time.
Yeah.
You can't expect police officers without clear guidance to do anything other than try to protect us by whatever means are necessary. I mean, I wonder what my friend from California would said if this beating case we saw out in Los Angeles, if in the process of that beating, that person confessed to having murdered somebody. Should it be admissible? If in the process of that beating, I asked that question to my friend. What was the fellow's name? Rodney King. If when Rodney King was being beaten, the guy we saw on television, in the process of that beating, Rodney King confessed to a murder that he did commit, should Rodney King be convicted under our laws? That's my question.
I don't know under those circumstances. I really don't.
See, that's the problem.
The fact of the matter is, the answer is probably no.
Probably no.
Right.
Yeah. I think
I don't know how the courts would construe that, but probably no.
Well, usually the courts construe beatings, eliciting confessions, as not a good thing. And the reason they do that is we have a proposition about self-incrimination in our country. As a matter of fact, not only usually, always do they construe it that way. But my point is, there would be, assuming somebody had committed a murder, if the police beat the confession out of him, and he did commit the murder, and confessed to it, and that's what convicted him. Now, I wouldn't want that guy going free. I wouldn't want that person going free. They did commit a heinous murder. But the only way we're able to convict him is the police beat him up with a hose. Should that person be denied their constitutional rights? Well, my gut tells me no. Yes, they should be. Hang them. They did it. But why is it that we don't allow those kinds of things to be admissible?
Holy
watching
fuck.
the Rodney King video, being beaten to a pulp by police officers, and that's his take, is to create this straw man. Oh, what if he were a murderer, and then we would? Are you going to tell me we couldn't use it? Like, that's his. What
to
yeah.
use Rodney King to make a hypothetical, not even Rodney King, someone he didn't even know the name of, to make a hypothetical of if he was a murderer, should we allow this beating? Like, to make that tough on crime point. Using Rodney King shows you who this guy fucking is.
Yeah, exactly. Just disgusting. Yeah. Again, so like to pretend that this is only a whoa, I don't know what I just did. I messed up my whole screen. I'm so incensed that this is only a a Republican Party problem is just absurd, truly. Then the other thing that happened really fast, of course, was some of the bigger blue check accounts right away had to try to dispel the notion that the shooter who was wearing the Sonnenrad, like had the black sun insignia in his manifesto. And of course, his manifesto was pretty much cribbed right from the New Zealand Christchurch shooters manifesto, and which had been circulated and translated into Ukrainian and Russian, but into Ukrainian, and the Azov Battalion proudly displayed their love of that manifesto. And so right away, there had to be some like parsing of which Nazis are okay and where the Sonnenrad really, like how it was first perceived or how it was first used, and which are the good Nazis fighting for freedom and which are the ones that we're supposed to arm and which are the ones that we have to decry. It was a really sort of like disgusting exercise in different levels of Nazism.
Well, the whole point of the Democratic Party, as far as the Nazis in Ukraine goes, is like they just want to keep it an issue. They want to keep it as black and white as possible. So all the Ukraine stuff is, they have to hit that with as much propaganda as they can, that supporting the Nazis there is not, it's not, you're anti-American if you don't want to support, if you don't want to fund the actual Nazis over there. If you point out anything about the Nazis over there, you're anti-American, you're
against freedom, you're
a Nazi, you're a Nazi yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, because you were pointing this stuff out about actual Nazis.
Yeah.
But they want this to be the wedge issue forever. Abortion. They have a few things. They have abortion. They have, I mean, the white supremacist stuff on the right is real. Of course it's real. Like, nobody doubts that they're a shit ton of white supremacists on the right. But what are you doing about it? Instead of just saying vote for us so we do something about it, you're literally in power. Yep. You're literally right now in power and not doing anything about it. And you're funding the Nazis in Ukraine.
Yeah. Who are galvanizing Nazis around the world. And we're giving them billions of dollars of weapons that are going to be used against, I mean, all of us, but like, you know, I mean, I can't, the number of liberals who have told me that like they want to whitewash the actual ideology of the Azov battalion and the and right sector and the you know, Stefan Bandera followers. And I mean, I find it like actually as a Jewish person terrifying, and then just as a person with a brain completely incongruous with then trying to say it's like anybody but the people who have swastikas actually tattooed on their bodies, those we can't call Nazis, but like Trump's a Nazi. And fine, like white supremacists, great, yes, and Tucker Carlson and fucking Joe Biden and most of the people in power. But like, if you call out what's happening and whom we are funding and giving weapons to in Ukraine, somehow you're a Putin puppet.
Yeah. And what is it? Fetterman, who just got elected. This is where it sucks to be a fucking progressive. I mean, like if you're trying to have faith in electoral politics, you see a guy like Fetterman, who seems like this hardcore outsider, trying to tell it like it is the whole time. He gets elected, and the first thing he says today is like, what was it about Israel? Basically like doubling down on being his partnership with Israel. Like, yeah. Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know how, it's there's a lot related.
Because
it just feels like we can't separate out our passions from what's actually happening and the logic of whom we are funding and where that leads us, right? So that was a really disappointing first statement from him for sure. But I just want to say that this is what Democrats want to do to fight white supremacy is vote on legislation to prevent domestic terrorism and fight the deadly white replacement racist conspiracy theory. What does that mean? Like, how do they think that's going to happen? Just more surveillance? I mean, I think so. More censorship? Like, is that the plan?
More of the Biden disinformation bureau or whatever it was called, but which has failed, which I guess we put some of that under Biden, but like it's literally just censorship. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, I mean, the thing with Tucker is a terrible human, and you know, I can agree with him being awful, but like, how do you take someone like him off the air and not have it be censorship? How do you even create a disinformation bureau?
Yeah.
And look yourself in the eyes, like,
because we all know that like there are ways to deal with this. Again, you know, all of the people who went from voting for Obama to voting for Trump, and there were millions, they did not just all of a sudden turn racist, right? And by the way, many Democrats are racist, and people who voted for Biden are racist. So like, I mean, I don't want to have to look inside of everybody's heart, but what we can do to give people some hope and some sense of community and belonging to a country that takes care of them and that they then want to look to their neighbor. And, you know, it's that whole Bernie thing of like, fight for someone you don't know. We live in a country that has told every single person to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. So, you know, it's even just like when liberals get really upset, you know, there's this whole thing that happens on Facebook, if you ever pop in, where people will say like, you can just unfriend me now if you support Trump, which, okay, fine, great. I mean, I felt the same way about Bush. I feel the same way about anybody who supports pretty much any Republican and most Democrats. But like the issues that they feel very confident speaking out and being angry about are abortion and the NRA. And, you know, I'm not really pro-gun. I mean, I get it. And I know a lot of people on the left are, and for very valid reasons. But, you know, we know that before COVID, 68,000 people died every year because they couldn't see a doctor, because we don't have Medicare for all, because we don't have free healthcare in this country. That's bigger violence than any gun violence in this country per year. And then with COVID, it's a third of COVID deaths are blamed on people not having health care. So that's violence. That's way bigger violence.
It is, but they're, elect more Democrats is the answer. But it's never that we'll provide these policies. We will actually not provide any of these policies. It's literally just the other side is against these things. So what happens is the Republican Party moves more right, is more vile. It's clear to everyone, the general public, that they're worse. So they just will blanketly vote for Democrats. That's the whole Democratic strategy, at least.
Yep.
The problem is, black and white with racist. So your party's racist and our party is not racist, is how they want to frame everything. And that doesn't provide a solution for someone who's a disenfranchised Democrat who's like, but Biden, you said you'd let all these people out on marijuana convictions. You literally can just sign a paper and do it. My husband's in jail or whatever. You can do this without any support. You can't blame Sinema and Manchin for this. You ran your
canceling
election on
student debt.
You could do that immediately.
Which is also that would disproportionately help Black people in our country.
100%. And I saw a stat I wanted to bring up. 93% of people, Black people, 93% of zip codes in America are unaffordable for Black people. Like in the big cities, 93% can't afford to live in a big city. How is that like a country that's you should be proud of? I mean, it's just so fucking embarrassing that like
and a lot of that happens in blue states, right? Like in New York, in Buffalo. The reason that demented, disgusting shooter chose that supermarket is because that part of East Buffalo is a food desert. They had to lobby hard to have one grocery store, right? So like, yes, he's a horrific racist, disgusting killer. But why are there food deserts in this country where we have so much wealth? Why do people have to work so hard just to fight to get one grocery store in their neighborhood when I've got 10 within blocks of me? I mean, like that's disgusting.
And obviously we have two huge issues. I mean, like, I don't want to minimize racism because racism exists outside of economics. But the biggest thing that Democrats can do is provide economic relief and provide a reason to vote for Democrats. So if you want to stop the racism, you provide something, as FDR was forced to do, essentially. Right. But you provide an alternative that people say, you know what, I got something. Like something happened, not just the other guys. It's going to get worse under the other guys. You can't just keep, because if it truly is a black and white situation, they're racist, we're not. You need to give the not racist people, you have to turn out your base. It's not about converting people's minds. So you need to turn your base out. And the not racist base, the way people vote is, what did you do for me? What do I see that you are working on? They don't vote for that other stuff. They may agree with you, but they're not going to be motivated enough to go to the polls to win an election.
Well, especially now when we gave Biden and Democrats the House, the Senate, the presidency. You got the power now. You can't keep blaming Trump. Like, do something with it. But they're doing nothing. So I don't know how just vote and vote harder and just one more Democrat at this point. I mean, I don't know. Is that a compelling argument for people? I can't imagine, but maybe, I guess we'll see in November. But like, there are actual, as you said, like things that Biden could do without the approval of the House or the Senate that he could take care of. And maybe it would be overturned. Maybe it would be. Yay! Just vote.
I was just thinking of we had one picture of, I mean, the messaging from Democrats right now. We're probably not getting to Biden because we have to get out of here, unfortunately. But we have so many good things on Biden. But the messaging from Democrats is just none of this is really Biden's fault. Like any problem is not Biden's fault. It's from Trump. And
always Trump. If
you have a few more Democrats, it's all we need. That's all we need. A couple more.
All right. Should we do one more spin?
All right.
Let's do one more. Because maybe I'll get another shot. Okay. We are seeing such a rise, a spike, hospitalizations, deaths, all of it. And you wouldn't know it because they changed the whole metric for their map. So this is what the map looks like now. It's the bottom green happy map, which is community levels, which is all about hospitalizations, which does not take into account the transmissions, which is that hot red flaming map. And actually that's from what, 10 days ago, 6 days ago. It's worse now.
But the green map has nothing the green map is the map that the public sees in general first. It is the main front and center. You're safe out there. And if people knew that green map didn't mean safe, you're going to get COVID. If the green map meant you're going to fucking get COVID, people would look at things differently, but they don't see that. They think you're safe from getting COVID. And the red map is like, the green map is hospitalizations and how
full the hospitals are.
Yeah.
But in places where there aren't hospitals and people are still getting sick, and now people have rapid at home tests, so they don't always report their infection. Yeah.
That's the whole point of the one thing they're doing is sending out tests because they want you to test at home. If you test at home, you're not going to be reported. You're just going to handle it.
And meanwhile, they're bracing for 100 million infections coming this fall, but we have no money for. So first of all, Biden tells them to spend their COVID relief money on more. I guess you're going to lock up COVID. I don't know what the hell. More cops. Yeah.
Cops.
They're going to have to ration vaccines. They already know that. They're going to have to ration vaccines. Go get your boosters now. As much as I hate big pharma, if the wealthy people are getting themselves boosted, it probably, I'm not a doctor, but protect yourselves because nobody else is. But here's the other thing, because they've been spinning this forever and they're going to say people are over it. People are over it. This is a poll from just this week about people wanting and approving of mask mandates because of rising infections. Every single state in this whole country is over 50%, and some of them are well into 70s and 80s. Even Florida and Texas and states I don't even know what those are want mask mandates.
The reddest state on earth still supports mask mandates. So
it's a lie. Yeah.
It's a total, this is what the phrase gaslighting was meant for, where the narrative out there is trying to make you think you're insane because you're the one person. It's just you who really wants masks to be in place. No, everyone still gets that COVID. Most people still get that COVID is a real threat. Yeah. You wouldn't believe that when you go out in public, but
oh my God, nobody's wearing a mask because they all just watch cable news.
They do. But still, these numbers and these polls are that way because sane people are still avoiding it. A lot of these public areas, or they have access to the mask. So they're the people wearing the mask when they do go out in public.
Yeah.
But for we didn't get to the squad. I just want to take a shot at the squad here because I'm fucking sick of the squad. I'm sick of them. I
know. Where's the ruckus? They're not speaking out about war. They're not speaking out about the anti-science administration. They're not speaking out about anything. They can't even come to.
I have always hesitated to say fraud squad because I don't want to use that. But I understand why people would say that. But on COVID, I just want to say specifically to go along with this administration and pretend everything is okay right now is a crime. So fuck them. They need to do something now. They need to say something now. They need to use their voice if they have a voice to say this is not okay because this means more.
Death.
Handling COVID responsibly is probably more important, honestly, short term than even Medicare for all. You have lives are. We're talking about something sweeping the nation, and the whole squad is being quiet on it. They're acting like everything's okay. The CDC isn't politicized.
And we know a third of people who get COVID, even mild cases, develop long COVID. So in a country with no Medicare for all, what are all those people going to do? Plus now kids are starting to develop hepatitis, which, you know, for the first few weeks, they were calling them sort of like outlier cases. They're finally admitting that it is because of COVID.
Yeah. And
liver damage.
We literally have monkey flu, or I don't know, monkey something coming here. It's
oh yeah,
they just
monkeypox.
They found monkeypox. They just found it in Spain, where I just came back from. So I'm probably a carrier.
I'm glad we're not in the same room.
But okay, 1 in 10 people who get that die. 1 in 10. Like, I mean, way higher than COVID. And do you think we're gonna do? Does how our administration handled COVID give you any sense that we are going to handle this well?
No,
I mean it's fucking bonkers. I don't know. That's probably a good way to end the show, since we're already a minute late.
We're late, and I have to run to the bathroom before we go. All right, hey, so glad to be back. We will see everybody next week. Hope you can join us over on In Depth. I will repost it on Twitter really quickly. But thank you all for hanging out with us. It's so much fun to be back, and take care, wear your mask, drink a lot, stay healthy.
Take COVID seriously, drink at home. That's all I got at this point.
And always punch up. Bye. Cheers.